Hey, what's up, guys? It's ReaperSitNChats here. I just woke up like a few hours ago, but it's currently 1:02 in the morning, or well, in the afternoon, and we are about to watch Spider-Man: No Way Home. So, time to get ready. Spider-Man, No Way Home, better than Homecoming and Far From Home. Almost forgot the name of the movie. Bro, I forgot how I even did this, but... Bro, you already saw it when I was getting it out, bro, when I picked it up, bro. Y'all did so well on this movie, bro. You are getting a Reaper mask of approval, bro. Reaper mask of approval. Oh my gosh. Bro, it's kind of like the Green Goblin's mask, low key. But like Reaper version. Bro. I'm sorry about the glare. You're just gonna have to deal with that. Oh my gosh. Hello everyone. I just came back from seeing No Way Home in theaters, bro. Yo, there's no way I would be able to talk about this without spoilers. So, as you guys saw on the screen I put up, there are going to be spoilers in this review. This movie's wild. Like, this movie, like, don't have expectations for it. Like, if you haven't seen it, don't have expectations for it. Because it's going to be so much better when your expectations are, like, exceeded, basically. Like, I was basically telling myself throughout the whole movie, Toby and Andrew aren't in it. Toby and Andrew aren't in it. They weren't edited out. That lizard getting kicked by Invisible, that was all fake. It's a scam. No, I was basically telling I was convinced that they weren't in the movie. And then, oh my gosh, the second Marvel loves being Marvel. Marvel loves being Marvel. They had the poll, like, oh, and you just knew. You knew as soon as the poll got put down, and it had the walking stick, bro. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to get to that yet. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I can go on and on and on about this movie. But that's why it's ReaperSitNChats. Wow, why is this chair so... Hi, is this close enough for you? Yeah, bro, like, oh my gosh. That's why it's ReaperSitNChats, so we can sit and chat. So, right now I'm Reaper, and I'm currently chatting about, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Arguably the best Marvel movie to date. And you know me, well, maybe you don't, but if you did know me, I'm not fond of jumping on hype trains, but I don't care. We actually went to go eat at Chili's, like, before we got back here, so I'm trying to gather myself, but basically, like, the first couple moments of the movie, we actually we got there really early. The theater was like pretty empty. More people came in, as it came closer to the movie, but they were like 20 minutes late. Like, it was supposed to be at 3, but it ended up showing at like 3:20. Like, but the first little bit of the movie, like, it was showing the Sony thing, in association with Marvel, and J. Jonah Jameson started talking about, like, oh, Spider-Man recent reports of blah, 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 and they were, basically going back to, it took place, like, exactly, like, the exact second, actually a couple seconds before, the end of Far From Home. But it's that same sort of camera style that I felt watching Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. Like, the camera in Shang-Chi was... You could tell the camera angles in Shang-Chi were way different than any of the other Marvel films, and I think I liked that the most about Shang-Chi was how it was sort of like this full-on comedy, but at the same time it had a story in it. And they did that same thing with No Way Home. I felt like I was legit just watching Shang-Chi, but Spider-Man as the main character. The camera angles were way different than all of the other movies. Like, they usually just have still shots. Like, I know I'm not trying to critique, the previous movies. I'm just saying they were good, but this just knocks both movies out. Like, this is its own movie. This is an endgame of the, Spider-Man trilogy. Like, even Endgame wasn't like that. Endgame didn't have these sort of camera angles. There was, like, this sort of, like, comic booky type, like, happy-go-lucky, like, carefree style of, camera shots and scenes that they were doing. Like, the way that, it would just, like I said with the Matt Murdock scene, the way they had the pole, like, sit down and then it, like, zoomed out and then it slowly revealed that, it was, Matt Murdock. Like, those, the camera shots, they were just, I don't know, they hit different, bro. And, like, the him almost cursing, and then, like, he jumps down in, and they were all talking to MJ, and they're like, oh, are you Spider-Man's girlfriend? You know him, oh, and, like, he comes down, and, like, he's like, hey, everybody, calm down, and they just, like, swing off. Like, that's just crazy. And then, like, the subway is just for, like, dramatic effect. But, yeah, where they got up on the roof and was like, dude, it was just... That was when I realized, yeah, this movie's for real. Like, I actually have no idea what's about to happen. And for a big part of the movie, it felt like I didn't even care about, the villains. I just was finally glad to see Spider-Man on the, on the films, on the big screen. And, I mean, the CGI, is probably my one takeaway from the movie. The CGI was a bit, But, I mean, I'm guessing that's just because, COVID. And I didn't really care anyways because it was still cool. But you could definitely tell some of the CGI scenes were, mediocre. Not even mediocre, just, like, they were sufficient enough. Like, not efficient, but sufficient. Like, just barely good enough. But for the first good 30 minutes of the movie, I was fully intrigued in just Peter, in MJ and Ned. And then, them getting, rejected from MIT, like, I kind of really didn't really care about that. But, it was to build up the story, and you really weren't thinking even when he was on the bridge. Like, I mean, maybe other people watching it were, but I wasn't. I was not thinking. I was not thinking about the villains at all. Like, but when he got that spider sense, which his spider sense is so weird. He can have spider sense for like 8 years. Like, it's not like traditional Spider-Man spider sense where it's just like for like 2 seconds. Like, he actually has to piece together himself what the danger is, and That's not what his spider sense is supposed to do. I don't know why my camera's flashing like that. You good, bro? You trying to adjust the lighting. There we go. Anyways, what was I saying? It's doing it again. Anyways, yeah, his spider sense. Sorry. His spider sense. His spider sense, like, doesn't work like, traditional spider senses. Like, it's supposed to be able, like, to tingle in a certain area of his, like, neural, like, his brain, so that he knows which direction the danger's coming from, which he kind of does, but his spider sense is for much longer, which just shows how much better of a Spider-Man he is. Like, his spider sense is not just a 2-second warning. It's a good, like, 30 seconds before the danger even happens. So, yeah. But anyways, when you got that spider sense and you heard that light booming, like, that's when I finally realized, oh yeah, I forgot the villains are in this movie. And they kind of had, like, no introduction at all. It was just after he had cast the spell, like, he was just, just walking out one day and Dr. Octopus is terrorizing the city in the traditional Spider-Man music to make it seem like, he's used to seeing these villains. But he's actually not. He's like, do I know you? Like, it's just crazy, like. And then the Green Goblin, I liked how, like, just before, the Green Goblin, like, he went through the portal. Rest of the movie was pretty much Scooby-Dooing stuff. I thought it was kind of strange how they censored Doctor Strange for the trailer, but, like, I don't know, there was lots of lines that I anticipated, especially the J. Jonah Jameson, like, was that a dinosaur? Like, that line wasn't even in the movie. They made Ned say it. Anyways, skipping, a couple May dies later, after they, what? After they, finally were, doing their little... Oh, yeah, them in the building was just incredible how, like, the villains were actually agreeing to reverse their powers, because they're not really even villains for real. They're just, like, victims of, they're actual human beings, but, the Green Goblin's personality switch, like, just the return of the OG villains really carried this movie. I don't know, like, Willem Dafoe is obviously a great actor, but he played, like, he didn't even play the Green Goblin, like, he was the Green Goblin. Like, Norman Osborn, and what's funny is that movie did a great job of, like, actually making you somewhat feel bad for this character, because they made, Norman Osborn such an innocent dude, even though I know, Norman's, like, still super evil. He's just taken over by, the Green Goblin at the same time, and it's just crazy how he, he's the Green Goblin. What am I to say? But I definitely think the Green Goblin carried in terms of villainy. I think Dr. Octopus carried in terms of plot reveal, and I think in plot progression, story progression, and I think Electro carried in comedic relief. Like, Jamie Foxx was just, he was funny to the end. Like, it was crazy, but slowly revealing the plot of the movie, it was great. There was never a dull moment. Like, I felt like the fight between him and Doctor Strange was like not just half the budget of the movie, but well, a good 2/3 of the budget of the movie. But I felt like it was kind of dragged out for like a little long, but there's nothing really to complain about. There's nothing really to complain about, you know? I mean, and that's just that one bit of the movie. It's that one bit. Then you have portal opening. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter. Oh. Ends up being none other than Andrew Garfield himself. Oh my gosh. And I don't even have to explain that, bro. I loved how Toby and Andrew interacted with each other. I loved how throughout the whole movie Andrew was fanboying over the multiverse theory, because you know he's in like the most realistic Spider-Man, you know, yet, because you know, he's got genetic webbing, you know, he's a little older than Tom. He's supposed to be, you know, still a kid, but he's grown up now. Like, I just love how he was fanboying that whole movie over like the theory of, you know, matter separation and all that. And Toby's been there the whole time. Like, I love how he already knows who Tom Holland's Spider-Man is. Like, and he already, like, he doesn't need anything explained. Like, in him knowing that, like, they just, oh my gosh. And then, sorry, we had angsty teen Tom for like half the movie, which I've never seen a Spider-Man movie where I didn't actually care about Tom Holland. But his character, I mean, I know he was in a tough time, but I don't know, I mean, his anger, it was just anger, you know, because he felt like, you know, May died for nothing, and I didn't believe that, you know. But it took brothers to you know, show him that he can be greater. Obviously, we don't even have to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man reference, but Toby not knowing who the Avengers are was super funny. And how, like, Iron Man was originally supposed to be a part of Toby's storyline. Like, the Iron Man himself. Just makes it funnier, but yeah, pretty much the entire rest of the movie is self-explanatory. Andrew, you know, he got to save Mary Jane. Not Mary Jane. Andrew got to save Michelle Jones, MJ, different MJ, instead of Gwen, you know. That was great. That movie was everything you could probably ask for and more. And that's all I gotta say. So, I am Reaper Plays, and make sure you guys subscribe to join Rival, and also hit that like button, share, and favorite. And I'll see you guys in the next video.